Hello dear students, today we are going to learn the most important topic, voice. In first video we learned the 8 type of tenses converted active into passive. So this video is a second part of that particular topic. So in that video we are going to learn the different kinds of passive voice in different concepts. So it is very important to know about that. What is a WH question, what is the imperative questions, what is to have, what is it to be. Different kinds of concept have different kinds of active voice into a passive voice. So today we are going to learn the passive voice of WH question. What is a WH question? A WH question is a such type of question which start always WH word and at last there is a question mark. So that is called as a WH questions. And WH questions is very important to solve that a particular active voice into a passive voice. We have to know the combinations of verbs by helping do, does, did, to, have. Okay, the first question is that why did Rakesh write a letter? So that is the first question. So that question is related with the WH type of question. So passive voice of WH type of question. So we are going to hide what? The WH word. In this way we hide such that. Okay, and we are going to add something. What? Why did Rakesh write a letter? At last there is a question marks. Okay, so did plus write. So we may know about that. That is additions. Okay, did plus write. So it's called as a wrote, WROTE. So if there is a write, the classification of these two is a do write. Do write. Okay, if there is a wrote, 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 we may classify it into a did write. Did write. So that is the classification. It is very important to know. If we are going to add did plus write, so that is converted into a wrote in this way. So we are going to take assertive type. What? Rakesh wrote a letter. Okay, in this way we have to solve. We have to hide WH word. Okay, we are going to understand this better now. Okay, Rakesh wrote a letter. So wrote is the second form of the verb. So V2. The particular sentence of that tense is a simple past. So V2 always indicates simple past. So we are going to convert. A letter is object, then that is a V2 means verb, and Rakesh is a subject. So we are going to convert in this way. A letter was written by Rakesh. So the passive voice of particular sentence is a, we are going to understand it in this way. That is only a solving method, that is not answer. So answer is going on in this way. We are going to take why as it is, why, and we are going to figure it that kind of was. Why was a letter written by Rakesh? At last there is a question marks. Okay, why? If in active voice, in such type of question, in WH question, as it is we have to use this word why. If there is a starting why, there is in a at last there is a, we may use why. If there is at last question mark, in passive voice there is also question marks. Are you understood everyone? Okay, then when does, second question is that when does she drive a car. Okay, so we may hide it now, WH word. Okay, we may add such like that, does drive. So answer is a drives, DRIVES, and we may put it here, she drives a car. That is a method. Drives, that is a V1, simple present. The tense of particular sentence is simple present. So a car is a object. So a car is driven by her. Okay, that is method. The answer is that we may put it, yes, when. Okay, as it is, we may put it when in answer, when, WHEN, when. Okay, and in this way you have to is a car driven by her. At last there is a question mark. Why? Because this sentence started from a WH word, and after that there is a helping verb, so we may put a question mark at the end of the sentence. In active voice there is a question marks, 100%. in passive voice there is a question marks. That is very important. If you understand these kinds of method, so you may understood 99% completions of active voice into a passive voice of a WH question. And next, second type is that modal auxiliary. We have to know that there are different kinds of modal auxiliaries in English. Will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, dare to, used to, need to, ought to. These are the types of modal auxiliaries, and we are going to convert active voice into a passive voice of a particular type of modal auxiliaries. The example is that Ganesh can win the prize. Can plus V1, that is a modal auxiliary. Okay, so we are going to convert. Ganesh is a subject, then can win, that is a verb, and after that is a object. What? Prize. Okay, the prize, that is object. So we may go convert active into passive. The prize can be, the new one is coming, that the name of particular word is a B. Okay, the prize can be owned by Ganesh. So that is the answer, GANESH. Okay, the prize can be won by Ganesh. So we have to know the forms of a verb: win, own, winning, in this way. Okay, then the doctor should examine the patient. Okay, the should, that is modal auxiliary, that is the V1. So we are going to convert the patient is the object. In this way we are going to convert the patient should be examined by the doctor. That is at last there is a question, no, that is a full stop. Okay, the patient can be, B is a new one. Why? Because if we are going to convert such like the questions of a auxiliary type, modal auxiliary type activation to a passive, we may put a new word, that's name is a B. Okay, the patient should be examined by the doctor. Then next, passive voice of the verbs with the two objects. In one sentence there is two objects, we may convert active voice into a passive voice in a two way. Okay, in this way, Rani gave me a book. In this Rani gave what? A book. That is a, we may say it is called as a direct object. DO you may call direct object. Then Rani gave whom? Me. So that is an indirect object. You may know about that. If we want to understood such like the how many objects in a one sentence, so you may ask always two questions for a verb. Rani gave what? A book. That is a direct object, that is a non-living. Okay, and then Rani gave whom? Me. That is the indirect object. There's two types of object there, and we are going to convert active into a passive in this way. Okay, a book was given me by Rani. At last there is a full stop. Okay, then the nominative case of a me is a I. So you have to know I was given a book by Rani. At last there is a full stop. Two object, two passive voice of a one sentence. Okay, the next concept is going on. The next example, the principal offers her a job. The principal offers whom? Her. That is an indirect object. What? A job. That is a direct object. We may convert active into passive. A job offers. That is a simple present tense. The job is offered her by the principal okay. Then next example, the first nominative case of her is we have to know she is offered a job by the principal. So that is a two types of a one sentence, active into a passive. Okay, next concept is going on. Passive voice of a imperative sentence. So what is imperative sentence? Imperative sentence is a sentence which always start in the first form of the verb. You have to bring a shirt, that is a V1. Okay, next example, call the neighbor, that is also V1. So it is called as a imperative sentence. Okay, then bring a shirt. Okay, we have to know if you want to convert active into passive of imperative sentence, we have one formula is there. Okay, you have to listen it carefully. Okay, bring a shirt. Okay, let plus object plus b plus v3. Okay, that is the formula. Okay, bring a shirt, we may convert it now. Okay, in this way, a shirt, let a shirt be bought, B-O-U-G-H-T, at last full stop. Okay, let a shirt, let plus object plus b, new one is coming, b plus v3, that is the passive voice of imperative sentence. Next example, call the neighbor. Okay, let the neighbor be called, b is a new one. Okay, called, that is a v3. So that is a passive voice of a imperative sentence. Next one, passive voice of to be. What is a to be? There are present to be and past to be. In present to be, am is are. In present to be, am is are. In past to be, there is a was were, were. Okay, we are going to convert active into passive of a to be only. Okay, in this way, I am to buy a car, am to. Okay, in this way, a car is to be, new one is there, be. Okay, a car is to be bought by me. Okay, I is converted into a me in this way. Okay, that is the objective case. Okay, then next, Kabir was to do this work. This work was to be done by Kabir. So that is the passive voice of to be. Okay, in present to be am is was, in past to be was were. Okay, and then the new concept is there, passive voice of to have. What is to have? In a present tense there is a have oblique has. Okay, and in past tense there is had. Okay, passive voice of to have. Okay, in this way the girls have to write letters. Okay, letters have to be written by the girls. Has to be written by the girls. So to be is a new one and V3. So that is a passive voice. Okay, that is a V3. Okay, here is also V3. We have to know about that. To be plus V3. To be plus V3. Okay, B is new one there. Okay, passive voice. The formula, any kinds of formula or any kinds of passive voice, we have to know. To be plus V3 is called passive voice. You may first of all check in sentence. You may decide after that. Okay, as Shyam had to do this work. Okay, this work had to be done by Shyam. Okay, B plus V3. So that is a passive voice. Okay, after that the last concept, the passive voice of infinitive. What is infinitive? 2 plus V1. It is called as a infinitive. 2 plus V1. Okay, V1 means first form of the verb. I want to write a letter. So I want, you may, as it is you may write. Okay, they I want to write a letter. I want a letter to be written. Okay, B is new one and written is a V3. So that is called as a passive voice of a particular infinitive type of a sentence. Today we learned the most important topic of a active voice converted into a passive voice of different concept, and very exceptional concept is there. First we learn the passive voice of WH question. In WH question, what the WH word as it is, and you may help such like that concept. Okay, why did Rakesh write a letter? The answer is, why was a letter written by Rakesh? Okay, then when does she drive a car? The answer is that when is a car driven by her? So that is the answer. Then the passive voice of modal auxiliaries. There are different kinds of modal auxiliaries. Will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must, dare to, need to, used to, ought to. Okay, we have to know about that. Okay, next, have Ganesh can win the prize. The passive, the prize can be written by Ganesh. Next, the doctor should examine the patient. The answer, the patient should be examined by the doctor. Then next, passive voice of the words of two object. If there is two object in a one sentence, we may convert active into a passive voice in this way. Rani gave me a book. A book was given me by Rani. Okay, then I was given a book by Rani. Next, the principal offers her a job. A job is offered by the principal. Next, she is offered a job by the principal. Okay, next, the passive voice of imperative sentence. What is imperative sentence? Imperative sentence is always start first form of the verb. Bring a letter. Okay, bring a shirt. Okay, bring a shirt. Let a shirt be bought. Bought is the third form of the verb. Next, call the police. Call the neighbors. Call the neighbor. Let the neighbor be called. Okay, next, passive voice of the to be. In present to be am is, or in past to be was were. Okay, I am to buy a car. A car is to be bought by me. Next, Kabir was to do this work. This work was to be done by Kabir. Okay. Next, passive voice of to have. Okay. In to have, in present to have oblique has. In past had only. Okay. Next, the girls have to write a letter. Answer is that letters have to be written by the girls. Next, Sham had to do this work. This work had to be done by Sham. Okay. Next, last one. Passive voice of infinitive. What is infinitive? 2 plus V1. Okay. I want to write a letter. I want a letter to be written. These are the all about active voice converted into a passive voice. It is very important in English subject and any kinds of English reading topics. It is very necessary. Okay. So today, if we any problem about that video, you may comment on my video. And the most important thing I want to tell you that you may subscribe my channel. It is very useful for CBSE students, state board students, and all over the competitive examinations. So subscribe my channel. Thank you.